Hey, Lindsay. Good morning. Rob Cesternino. Very sad to see you out of the game. To go out and look. I'm looking forward to talking with you about what happened.
I'm excited to talk with you. I've been listening to your past couple of podcasts, so I know you've got lots of questions.
I have lots of questions for you because,
Good, let's do it.
when I see a circumstance like yours where it's like everything was going fine, but all of a sudden, Lindsay, all of a sudden just got paranoid for no reason. I have to feel like there's more to the story. So, I guess first question: did you have good reason to be paranoid?
Well, what do you think? I mean, do you think after 9 days of playing a pretty solid game that all of a sudden 2 hours before tribal council, I'm just going to all of a sudden get paranoid?
Yeah, the vibes were off, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I got to be honest with you, like hearing you say that just meant the world to me because I was so concerned that the survivor community and fans would think that like this is really how I went out, and it didn't. I'll be completely honest. Like my paranoia is what got me voted out of the game, but it was justified in my opinion. So we'll start off earlier in the day. Geo had come up to me and told me, Lindsay, they're going to vote you out tonight. And Ryan threw your name out. And I said, well, why? Ryan and I had a great relationship. I was very valuable. And Ryan wanted to make sure that we were winning challenges and that we were doing great around camp. And Ryan and I made a great team out there. So for Ryan to just randomly throw my name out there after him wanting to go for Cassidy for like the last 9 days was very strange to me. But that's when you start to see my paranoia set in. There were a ton of red flags leading up to that. I was worried about Carla. Carla had made some comments earlier in the day about if I was going to play my shot in the dark or not. She was very concerned that I would figure out that she was playing both sides. So the conversations that we were having just weren't matching up to like what the actual story was. So yeah, the paranoia definitely set in.
Okay, so I guess my question is, and I'm not sure if you know this from your experience out there, was I thought that maybe Carla specifically was looking to get you out because you had a close relationship with James. Was that how you saw it?
I don't think she was concerned that I had a close relationship with James. James doesn't get enough credit for his social game. Carla, Cassidy, and I all believed the entire time that we were James's number one, that we were closest with James. So James deserves credit for that. Carla was concerned that I was a threat in the game. I don't think Carla had any intention of working with me long term because she was worried that once we hit the merge, I would go out on my own.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel especially betrayed by James, that you felt like was a very close ally of yours? And then in the episode, we saw that a lot of assurances given to you. Hey, Lindsay, it's not going to be you. Stop being paranoid. You're safe.
Yes. So my relationship with James was difficult for me to process out there because I wanted to work with James. I wanted to trust him. But I've lived in Philly long enough to know Philly guys. And I knew that James wasn't playing anybody but me. I'm not looking for idols. Like James is smart. James is incredibly smart out there. And so I knew he was doing something. I just couldn't pinpoint what. There was a moment where when Cody came to raid our beach, we were trying to have a conversation with him about the journey that Noelle and James had gone on. And I had brought it up because I wanted to see what Cody's take on what happened at the journey was. It was my way of trying to figure out if James had lied to us. James told us, I didn't risk my vote. I'm still on y'all's side. I didn't necessarily believe that at the time. I wanted to believe it, but I just wasn't sure. And when Cody started talking about it, James shut the conversation down pretty quickly. And I had spoken with Carla and Cassidy about it. And I said, was that just me? Or did James get kind of weird when Cody started talking about it? And they both agreed with me. So that was a huge red flag for me.
Okay.
Did you want to ask a question? Go ahead.
Well, I just want to see if I can try to understand. Okay, so who, like, was it was Ryan was the person that threw your name out first, and then James and Carla jumped on board with it? Is that how you would say it went?
No, I couldn't figure out where Ryan had gotten my name from. I'm wondering if it was Cassidy at the time. I know Carla and James had no intention of voting me out that night until after my paranoia set in. I
Got it.
was trying to stay loyal to Geo because Geo had told me that it was me going home that night. So when I approached Carla and James about it, I started out just kind of, hey, I'm thinking it's me tonight. I have a feeling that, something might be going on. And they played dumb. They're like, we don't know what you're talking about. I wasn't willing to say at that moment, hey, Geo just told me my name's being thrown out there. I wanted to see if they were going to say, hey, Lindsay, we know that James or that Ryan and Geo are throwing your name out, but it's good. We all know that it's going to be Geo. Don't worry about it. And that's when Carla, I said to Carla, hey, can we go talk and have a conversation? And Carla shut me down immediately, which she normally never does. She also said to me, in an aggressive for her way, based off of the way that we had been speaking to each other for the last 9 days, she was like, you're not going to play your shot in the dark, are you? And of course, all these different things are adding up to me, and I am getting paranoid. So, but I also think it was rightfully so. I mean, I think on like day 3 or 4, Carla and Cassidy had a conversation about me. Do we think Lindsay is trustworthy? Are we worried about her as a threat? Is she going to be able to stick with us? So while I think that it was my paranoia that got me out, Carla and James and Cassidy deserve more credit for their gameplay. It wasn't just about paranoia. They're better players than that.
Who would have been your preference to go out from the group?
Geo.
Okay. If you could have done anything differently, is there anything that you feel like that you wish you could have changed?
Yeah, I wish I would have just kept my mouth shut and trusted them. But it's hard as a Survivor fan and somebody that's been watching the show for so long. For us to keep Geo's name for 9 days, it's unrealistic. I mean, at some point, somebody is going to try to make a big move. And I was worried that they were trying to blindside me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I just, from my own experience in a 6-person tribe, I definitely feel like that in hindsight, I wish I would have acted more about my paranoia, and doesn't mean that they're not still gonna like go in that direction just because you are starting to ask questions about it also.
Right.
Yeah.
It's tough. I mean, of course I know that it was my paranoia that sent me home, but I just felt like they were lying to me. Mm-hmm. So
yeah. I'd love to know more about the reaction to Cody's visit from the episode. So can you just talk a little bit about like how was that received by Coco? And then in the aftermath, once he walked away with the stuff that he got, how did the tribe feel about the experience?
I don't think it was that big of a deal. I mean, we knew that they were coming for us. I honestly, when I saw Carla's confessional, I was really surprised. I didn't think it was that bad. I knew that they were trying to weaken us, so I wasn't surprised in any way that they came for us. I just wanted to make sure that they didn't take our machete. That was my biggest concern. Take whatever you want, don't take our machete. The fishing gear, while it was great, we were catching fish, but they were small, and we were eating so many other things that wasn't a big deal. And I definitely wanted to give them kind of an olive branch. Like, okay, we see Baca and Vessi working together, but maybe we can kind of drive a wedge in there and make it so if Cody thinks that we're giving him things to strengthen their tribe, he would be more willing to work with us and kind of pay us back for what we did for them once the merge hit.
So we saw in the immunity challenge, the way that it ended with Vessi giving the, some help to Baca to put them over the top. You said that there's, some people that you want to get payback against when you get to the merge. Now, unfortunately, you didn't get that opportunity, but who were the targets for your payback?
So one of them would have been Cody. In that moment, I was referring to both the tribes for working together to get us out. I was also referring to Cody for coming. Cody came in and he was like, everybody wants me to take the machete. Like, we're coming for you guys. He came in pretty hot and hard. Mm-hmm. He also made it look like but that's not what I want to do.
Mhm.
Like that's what my tribe wants me to do. But I'm just I'm just chilling. I don't want to make any waves. Um, but I was also talking about Ryan because at the time, I thought it was Ryan that was leading the charge to get me voted out.
Mhm. Okay. Um, how did you see the alliances on Coco during your time there?
Okay. So we always knew Ryan and Geo were a pair. They were always off together exploring. One of the current concerns that I had, and you guys didn't see it, was I had gone through Geo's bag in the first couple of days and I found a map, not realizing it was the map to the Sweat or Savvy challenge. I thought it was a
Mhm.
map to immunity idol.
Yes. Okay,
And
another person
I
going through the bags this season.
Yes, I definitely did. Because I'm a firm believer that like anything goes. Like there are no rules in Survivor. Um, so so then the girls ended up going through Geo's bag as well because I had a really hard time trying to figure the map out. So I asked them to go through the bag as well. But I always knew that Cassidy was going to be the vote for Geo and Ryan, which again was why I was concerned when all of a sudden them going for Cassidy was now turned on me. Geo never wanted me to go home. He wanted Cassidy to go home. So that's why he gave me that information that day on the island.
Okay, because it was my read on what was happening was that, okay, that everybody was in on it, that they were going to vote for you, and that Geo put a vote on Cassidy, that was in case you played the shot in the dark. You feel like that Geo was just left out of the plan and that he went for Cassidy because that's what he wanted?
No, Geo wasn't left out of the plan. Geo just didn't want me to go home. Geo
Yeah.
wanted Cassidy to go home. Geo didn't want Carla to get the credit for that vote. He wanted to be able to call the shots that night. Geo caught wind that Carla was playing both sides. And the reason it was easy for Carla to put the vote on me that night was she saw Geo and I talking, and she knew that her game was getting a little bit messy in the sense that one of us were going to figure out that Carla was playing both sides. And so she knew if I take Lindsay out, that's one less person that's going to be able to blow up my game.
Was there a lot of friction between Geo and Cassidy?
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell us
Yes.
why?
It was their personalities. We had a lot of issues over how to cut the cassava, how to cook the cassava, but in the grand scheme of things, we really got along as a tribe. From day one, as you guys know, in my pregame, I always talked about wanting to have an all-girls alliance. I wasn't willing to just do any girls. Carla, Cassidy, and I really bonded out there and we clicked immediately. And so I knew that I would work with them. And then we all wanted James to come in. James doesn't get enough credit for his social game. All three of us girls thought that we were James's number one. And I think that speaks volumes to the game that he was playing out there.
Is there anything else about your experience at Coco that we didn't get to see that you think would be fun to let people know about?
Say necessarily, anything that you missed. I just wish you guys could have seen more of our tribe dynamic. We were all extremely close. So the fact that they were willing to flip on me at the last moment, I think if you guys had been able to see how close we were and how tight we were and how willing we were to work together, I think it would have made my vote out a little bit more shocking.
Yeah. Jeff said, had asked the group about how much scrambling was going on, and that the group was saying that the scrambling was going on up until the last second. How close do you think you were to staying?
I think I was definitely pretty close. My frustration was when after I found out that Geo and Ryan were, or that Ryan was gonna want to vote me out. Ryan and I had a lot of time to talk, and he was avoiding me. Ryan was avoiding me because he didn't want to lie to me. He didn't want to have that conversation with me. He was off having conversations with everyone else. And so my anger at Tribal that night, you see it go on Ryan. And Ryan deserves an apology for that because I definitely was very angry with him that day, and he didn't deserve it. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Lindsay, again, very sad to see you go out from the game, but very nice to get the chance to talk to you. Your kitchen is beautiful, by the way.
Thank you.
Yes.
You're in Raleigh right now, aren't you?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I went to NC State, so I hope
cool.
you're enjoying it. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It's very nice here. All right. Well,
Mhm.
Lindsay, hope we get the chance to talk more in the future. And thanks again for coming on and making some time to talk with us. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks for giving me your time today, Rob. I appreciate it.
Okay. You got it.